Hunter Biden has now been tried and found guilty of jaywalking, in effect, or littering, if you will. The prosecution of Hunter Biden from the beginning was designed to provide a smokescreen that permitted Biden to say that his son has been investigated, prosecuted, and now convicted, and that there is no double standard and that he's not protecting his son from allegations of corruption. And it just succeeded because they convicted him on a very minor charge, technically a felony. He's not going to get a real sentence. If he does, Biden will commute it or pardon him before it takes effect. Today's Lunch Lord is sponsored by the Patriot Gold Group. We can't ignore a series of growing and ominous financial indications predicting a recession at the latter part of this year and into 2025. The whole idea of this prosecution was to prosecute Hunter Biden for something and demonstrate the impartiality in the judicial system at work. Originally, the prosecution, which is a Justice Department operation, had stipulated that they would indict him for 1 or 2 counts of tax evasion, very minor, and for lying on his gun possession form. And those both would have been tiny sentences. And they submitted this plea deal to the judge, who rejected it because the plea deal included a provision that the judge said he'd never seen before, in which the prosecution agreed that they would not indict Hunter on any charges other than these, whether they were related to this crime or not. Hunter could have walked out and murdered somebody and not been indicted under the terms of this plea deal. The judge rejected it, and it's a dead letter. So the Justice Department had to go back and prosecute Hunter for something and hope that that held in the appellate courts. The purpose of all of this is not to have to put Hunter under oath to answer questions about the conflict of interest and his outright bribery, selling access to Biden in Ukraine, Romania, China, and a host of other countries. And by putting him on trial on this ridiculously minor gun charge, in this case that he lied on his gun application and didn't admit to being a heroin or a crack addict, was simply designed so that they can convict him of something and then not have to go after him for the real deal. And that still is in force. Instead of just doing a minor tax charge, they've indicted him and convicted him on the felony charge of lying on his gun application. And that's slightly more serious, but not much more. But the basic point remains that the whole goal here was not to get Hunter Biden in trouble for what he really did, which is orchestrating the Joe Biden global corruption network. We have such a fascinating comparison between how Donald Trump's misdemeanor was handled and how Joe Biden's is handled. Both of these men were convicted of relatively minor offenses, misdemeanors. In Trump's case, filing a record that was inaccurate on an obscure government form, and in Hunter Biden's case, lying on a gun application. But in the Trump case, this conviction for the record-keeping violation was souped up, magnified, and other counts added and blown up, so it would become a felony conviction of major consequence with significant possible jail time. The Hunter Biden conviction went the opposite way. It went from being something that could be the cornerstone to investigating the whole corruption loop to something that ended up being a flash in the pan and not more serious than jaywalking or littering. And that really is the essence of this disaster that took place yesterday when Hunter Biden was able to be convicted of a petty minor offense despite orchestrating a global system to bribe the president. Thanks very much for watching. Today's Lunch Lord is sponsored by the Patriot Gold Group. We can't ignore a series of growing and ominous financial indications predicting a recession at the latter part of this year and into 2025. Ray Dalio warns that gold is probably the best way to hedge against this. Who will win the election? Will it be secure? Will there be violence in the wake of it? And what policies will be pursued by the new administration? These are all huge risks and huge issues. And the best way to hedge yourself is to put your money in gold. There's an old saying that the darkest hour is right before the dawn. Well, I think the dawn may be a Trump victory. I think the darkest hour is the one we're going through right now. So pick up the phone and call the Patriot Gold Group. Thanks for watching. The Patriot Gold Group offers no fee for life IRAs to viewers of these videos. The IRA minimums are $25,000 and $100,000 for the no fee for life IRA. So call the Patriot Gold Group and ask for the no fee for life IRA.